So no for
Wait,
all.
donate. Are we making money off this?
I just hit go live.
We
Everyone
are
stop the
live.
racism and homophobia.
This is
What?
the
I
part
want to
of
make
the
sure
show.
that we are not saying the things we shouldn't be saying when the cameras. I just want to clarify.
Wait,
This is
live? We're doing it
this is-
live?
What's that mean?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I thought we were.
We're doing it
I thought we were going to film it. I thought we were going to film and edit. So what are the rules?
And-
What are the rules? Can we curse?
Just did.
Can we?
I-
Can
we
we
should,
cuss?
like,
Live.
Wait a little bit.
Podcast
Are we
rules.
live? Can you guys in the comments tell us if you can hear us?
We are live. We are definitely live.
Well, it
so
says
stop asking
here
us.
live 36 seconds. So I don't like. There's no intro. There's no fun thing. It's just us being confused about being live.
I see,
That
I
is
don't wanna
the
do
intro.
this.
It's a classic intro.
I see Paul panicking already.
Quickly
What?
checking. Close all my windows.
All right, here we go. Let's do a proper intro, I guess. What is up there, Reject Nation? We are here today, joined by the wonderful. Who should get credit first? Heavy spoilers or Screen Crush?
Let's go Screen Crush into heavy spoilers.
Okay, fine. Screen Crush. Ryan Airy is joining us today.
Wow.
Wow, look at that
Give
handsome
him a round
devil.
of applause.
Can you pull off some of those DVDs behind you there, Ryan?
I'm not going to pull off anything on this camera. No way. That's really obscene for you to even ask.
Wait to not yes and there, Ryan.
Ryan is risking his job at the video store right now by live streaming on the clock. So be generous.
No,
And
no,
then
no. The store's closed for the day. Doug isn't around, so I'm just wearing my normal stuff with my name tag.
Oh man, no
Doug's
Doug.
not on the stream.
This is the
Everyone's
stream where we
gonna
all
leave.
want to
I am
talk.
leaving.
We're all going to overlap each other the entire
Son of a
time.
bitch.
And then let's all give a moment of silence here as we introduce the king of them all, the spoilerific man, the heavy spoilers, the Paul whose last
Viserys.
name I never learned. Paul, how you doing there,
King
buddy?
Viserys lives, baby. We out
Woo!
here. We doing it. We
Team
doing it.
Green, Team Green.
Mhm. I'm Team Green. You know,
Traitor.
go with the winners.
So
But no,
right now
spoilers.
it's what 3 p.m. for you, Ryan, and then 8 p.m. for
Mm.
Paul in the UK, and our higher ups over at Zero Edition, they give us some loose talking points. It's very loose. We're going to keep it really, really simple,
Really natural and fresh for you.
But we're not going to only just talk about that. But yeah, we teamed up because there's this company called Zero Edition. If you want to express your inner geek, it's the best way to do it. And right now, we all have some new tees. We got
Yeah.
Paul here with his Better Call Paul shirt.
Woo!
Mhm. Need some spoilers? I'm your man, baby. Better call Paul. Paul has spoilers. He's seen them all.
I just want to say, I remember in the group chat pitching that, and I never got credit for that. Did you? Already
Yeah,
have
but
that going?
I did that as an intro like 2 years ago on a Better Call Saul video. You're not some genius who's come up with Better Call Paul
You're on
to
my
a guy
fucking
who's
stream
called
here,
Paul.
Paul.
That does puns. You know what I mean? You ain't
You're lucky to be
beat me
here,
at that.
Paul.
This is the real Rejects channel. You don't talk that way to me here.
You're blocked.
And then he will break out into his Robert Baratheon voice at some point. And then we got Ryan Airy here with his Not the Bees shirt.
Oh God, not the bees.
Yeah, I think Nicolas Cage should get royalties for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're going after the wrong guy here, Greg.
Can we get a Nicolas Cage shop at Zero Edition?
You're gonna get in legal trouble there, Ryan.
Yeah.
The Zero Edition boy, the team's gonna need to hear
I mean,
from
it just.
Better Call
I don't
Paul
know
is-
what you guys are
You're not
talking. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I just thought it was a funny image of some words inside a cage with some bees around it.
Mm,
Why is it in reference to something else?
he's
I
got
will
you.
yes hand that later. And then of course we got ourselves with our Citizen Kang shirt here that we have overplugged so much of the time. Now, according to here, we should have had a contest going of whoever sells the most shirts
Yeah.
in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever you like the best, go to the shops and show your support.
So,
ZeroEdition.com
and that's
by heavy spoilers.
What is the
and to
what is-
bring up that point, if you are watching Screen Crush Nation, go out, buy a Not the Beast shirt so we can beat these guys. Then you can return them later. That's fine. But the main thing is we have to beat heavy spoilers. At least at the shirt thing. He can get more views than us on any other video, but we have to sell more Not the Beast shirts. If you do, every Not the Beast shirt you buy guarantees that Mephisto won't return to Earth for like a year. So we're going to keep Mephisto away by buying Not the Beast shirts.
but
Guys,
Ryan,
how's that?
I've been told that if I sell more shirts than Ryan, I get to keep Doug. So, there's your decision. If you know who to support now, you know what to do. Give Doug a real home. He's working 70 hours a week in that video store wearing that polo shirt. Get him out of there. We all love dogs. We all want them free. Get him out. Buy heavy spoilers. Better call Paul, baby.
You're on the Real Rejects channel. You should just buy our shirts because let's face it, they're doing better than both of us. Their channels are just way more successful. We need it. This is a desperate plea.
You've got more subs than me, though.
Do you think that matters? Let's not compare channel views right now, Paul.
Really,
let's do it live here on the channel.
Powerful.
But yeah, that's it. It's a great way to support the channel. But what do we really want to talk about here today, guys? What's going
Thread
on?
count.
What's going on in the
They're
chat
comfy
today?
shirts, guys. They're comfy.
Yeah, really. I just want to talk about the wide variety of shirts we have. We don't have to necessarily focus on just this one shirt. We offer so many different ones with high thread count and different colors and sizes.
We might get a V-neck sometime soon. You don't know. This is our R&D.
We even have some.
I would like an.
We have some experimental pet shirts though for Doug and for the socks to wear. So, might be rolling out some dog shirts every now and then. Dude. You never know.
So we're not talking about anything else because I'll talk about something else. I mean, we're 6 minutes.
Something
in.
really big did just happen. Sorry if you've been watching.
Yeah, Ryan, what is this MCU news that just broke recently?
Yeah, I'm seeing here. I just saw this from Eric Voss on Twitter, our old friend Eric over there at New Rockstars. Just announced Marvel Studio delays. I don't know if he announced them. He probably got it from somewhere else that announced it, but I saw Eric's tweet first, so he gets the credit. We've got Blade.
Good, so they delayed the movies.
Exactly. Blade was delayed to September 6, 2024. That's not a surprise because we already heard the director's out and Mahershala Ali wasn't happy with the script. So that's not a surprise. The thing is, though, in the MCU, that kicks everything back, right? So, and I got a question for you guys about this next one. Deadpool 3 is delayed to November 8th, 2024. Is this the actual first confirmation we have from, I know that Ryan Reynolds did the announcement with Hugh Jackman and said Deadpool 3 is happening, but did we get a Marvel date announcement too? Did I miss that?
Yeah, it had a date at the end of the trailer.
Did you not see the trailer?
Okay. Yeah. No, I never watched the end of the trailer. I'm always too busy making the thing.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So Fantastic Four also delayed. And this one breaks my heart. Fantastic Four was delayed to 2025. The really sad one here is Untitled Marvel film was delayed to November 7th, 2025. I'm really curious what you guys think that is.
What?
And then the kickers. Kang Dynasty is staying. Kang is staying at May 2nd, 2025, but Secret Wars is delayed to the next year, to May 2026. Yeah. And I think was it originally just going to be in the same year, but in the fall?
Yeah.
Is that
like 6 months apart or something? Which those got Infinity War and Endgame was the perfect release time, I think, because there was a solid year of hype. Yeah. I think it was almost the same date that Endgame released. Just a year of solid hype. YouTubers making constant theory videos all the time. And I didn't understand why they were doing it the same year, but yeah, give it a year. I am a bit gutted because I was planning on quitting after Secret Wars. Not quitting. Heavy spoilers will still be a thing, but you'll have Jared instead or someone else. Maybe Ryan.
We're also gutted because we were looking forward to you quitting. So
yeah, everyone was. They want me dead.
I don't see you actually ever really quit. I can't see you relinquishing control.
No, yeah. I think the day after I quit, I'll be like, I could really do making a video right now.
These kids are not enough to take care
of. But you'll just make videos about your kids or whatever else you fancy. It doesn't have to be things that people click on.
Yeah, start a family vlog.
No, that's a dynasty.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys think this Blade movie is going to be a piece of shit? Because it sounds like it's shaping up to not be that good.
If they're delaying it, then that gives me hope. I mean, Same. I mean, it ain't Morbius. Yeah. So, I mean, that got delayed a lot of times. It's not, I wouldn't class it as that. Personally, I think get rid of some of the Disney Plus shows because it's clear that, I mean, how many delays have Marvel had recently? It feels like every 6 months they announce a delay. I think Multiverse of Madness had a delay, and then that had a knock-on effect with everything else. In some of the Disney Plus shows, I'm thinking, look, if stuff's getting in the way, you know what I mean? Ryan, we've had really busy weeks sometimes where we've been covering a show, and it's been like, I think I might have to drop it this week because it's going to have a massive knock-on effect, and we're not making millions of dollars. You know what I mean? So, like, the delays are probably good for the projects themselves, but I'm hoping that someone goes, we've delayed quite a lot of things. Do you not think we should pump the brakes and just do less projects? Because I'm feeling a bit worn out with Marvel at the moment, and I'm making money from it as well. You know what I mean?
If your views were
I should
higher
be
on
really
them, you
excited
probably
for it.
wouldn't be worn out. You know, I think it really
You
comes
what?
down to. I think if your views were higher, you probably wouldn't be worn out on them.
No, I would be. I'd 100% would be. Just
I can't
having to
agree
do
with
this
that.
stuff all
I
the time.
think it's just the circumstances of the views. That's what
You're just bitter.
your worth is determined.
You're
based off.
bitter.
Yeah, that's what I care
I'm
about.
not. I'm with you as far as like cutting back shows as long as it's affecting quality. So like I think overall, like Marvel's still doing a lot of things very right. Where you can kind of start to see the seams like fray a little bit is like Ms. Marvel first 2 episodes fantastic. It ended really strong, but boy, those middle as soon as the Jinn were introduced, you could see like the budget cuts. The Jinn like they had no powers. It was just like it felt cheap.
They were
like
weird
that whole
villains,
scene where
yeah.
she's yelling at her at the portal and she's like, "Don't!" And then the Jinn is like, "You're right." And then she just like has this the quickest face turn I've seen outside of pro wrestling, you know? So that kind of made me go, "Oh, that's a little," and then She-Hulk, obviously, I think the scripts are great, except for episode 7. But obviously the VFX artists across Hollywood are stretched to their limits. So you're starting to see the quality kind of go there to the point where I kind of think that once She-Hulk is in a movie, you might see Disney go back and like patch the series, you know,
Yeah, maybe.
because we've seen that happen on other Disney Plus shows, you know. So where the quality starts to strain, I say pump the brakes. But if a show is different to produce, like I don't think the Echo show is necessarily going to be VFX heavy. And Echo, for all I know, could be like a really cool, dark, grounded series. So maybe we don't cut Echo because that doesn't affect the productions of everything else. But something like, I don't know, what other Disney Plus shows like Moon Knight, when Moon Knight was actually in it, was a very VFX heavy show, you know? So maybe shows like that, they have to go like Armor Wars. Maybe this should be a movie instead of a show.
Yeah. No, and I wouldn't mind if they were like, we'll turn this into a movie, or Werewolf by Night was a special presentation.
Yeah.
You don't have to make these all series, you know what I mean? Just be like, we'll condense the plot into a special, maybe make it 2 hours or something. Yeah, I am, for me, Marvel, that they hit such a stride around phase 3, and phase 4's had very much ups and downs, and there's a lot more content coming at it. I think someone posted the amount of minutes in phase 4 and compared it to all the other phases, and there's a ridiculous amount of content, and it must be a nightmare for one person to manage. I don't know if Kevin Feige should even put like someone in charge of the Disney Plus shows, instead of overseeing that himself, because that was apparently what one of the main holdups with Blade was, wasn't it? That Kevin Feige was stretched too thin.
But he's also fixing everything right now, according to the other set of headlines I keep seeing.
Yeah,
that's why everything's delayed. All right, guys.
What about what is it? He's doing a Star Wars too, isn't he, Kevin Feige?
Yeah,
he's doing a Star Wars film.
How often do you guys live stream? How often do you two live stream?
Never. What's a live stream?
No,
first time.
Okay. Well, you know, as much as I love listening to this podcast between the two of you, sometimes you got to interact with the people in the live chat. You know, like that's a big part of.
Oh, there's people.
There's actual people listening, and I feel like once in a while, because you know sometimes people should send a little bit of dough our way. So no for All Mankind or Severance, Dan V900 asked, do you guys watch? I've never even heard of For All Mankind.
I've heard of it.
It is my favorite show on TV. If you want to talk about For All Mankind, I'll take this whole thing over right now. I love it.
Is it really? Are you being sincere right now?
For All Mankind is incredible. It's an alternate history show. If the Russians were the first people on the moon and the space race never ended, it's on Apple Plus. It's incredibly acted. The scripts are great. Like the actual science fiction of it, fantastic. Great show. No, we won't cover it because nobody would watch the videos.
Hey, I'm sticking with Andor. I'm riding that thing all the way through. Even if no one's watching it.
It'll grow someday.
I'm staying all the way in there. And then, hey, Aaron Bailey. I know that Paul fellow there. Good man.
Yeah, great artist. Hey, great guy.
Paul, can you do your Robert Baratheon impression for us?
I can't, you bastard. Robert Baratheon. Hate the bastards. Ned, me and you used to have a laugh, Ned. We used to drink. Fuck all the whores.
I was literally
watching.
I was in a really stressed. I messaged Paul about it. I was in a really stressed out mood the other day, and I was driving home and listening to him do a House of the Dragon video, and he just broke out into that Baratheon impression, just burst me into laughter. One of the first real laughs I had that day. I'll never forget the laugh that I had that day, Paul. It was a great laugh. Hardy one to behold.
Oh, my favorite thing Paul ever did was I did a Peacemaker video, and he guest starred as the piss taker. He put like a pasta strainer on his head and did the worst American accent I've ever heard. Still makes me laugh when I go back and watch those Peacemaker videos for fun.
Thanks,
Paul,
guys.
Let me hear the piss taker.
I can't even remember it. Like I totally forgot until that point. But
Just do an American accent of any kind. I just need to hear that.
You need to hear my American accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like my British one. Slightly different twang.
with a little bit of a drawl. Drop your jaw when you talk.
A lot of Brits become much dorkier in the American accent, and I feel like you maintain your sort of, your baritone.
So
maybe that's why it works so well.
We're getting a lot of comments in the chat about She-Hulk right now. So I wanted to ask, do you guys think She-Hulk is gonna this is the last episode, right? This coming week?
Yeah. I mean, what?
Yeah, apparently. I thought it was 10 episodes. I was wrong. I planned this whole thing wrong.
Do you think it's going to stick the landing?
Yeah.
No. And that's not me being sexist before you start. I just think that Disney Plus shows have difficulty sticking the landing. What is a good Disney Plus finale?
I'm one of the few that, Loki was good.
Loki.
Yeah, Loki was
WandaVision,
good.
Loki.
Instantly proven wrong.
Was WandaVision good, though?
I thought it was. Like, I didn't get all the hate for it. The problem with WandaVision was when something like they do that mystery box thing,
where was
nothing's ever going to live up to the ending in your mind. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. Not the bees.
Hey, we got Philip Molina is showing some love in the chat right now.
Goody.
Oh, no.
Okay, so he was the one that's, hey, Philip, we really appreciated that Twitter post about us. I like being we like being like number 9 on that thread out of a zillion different posts you made.
That is
nice being acknowledged
too. If you guys, wait, Paul, I think you're the only one who hasn't met Philip in person.
Yeah, I'm not paying money to go meet the guy. I'm not paying money for that.
It's worth
I live in New York, so everybody should just come to the meeting point here.
They've just apparently Spider-Man 4 might be releasing July 12th, 2024.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's definitely happening.
I thought that Ned didn't want to return, and what's Spider-Man 4 without Ned?
Yeah, he's got that.
Was that headline not taken out of context, though?
Wow.
I'm sure
Paul jumped right to his defense.
When has that ever happened?
No. Let me just throw this out here then. If that is coming in July,
but we don't want it to
July
happen.
2024.
I want every time Ryan to talk for Paul to start talking at the same time too.
It's basically my entire. It's how I feel my entire life. Every time I make a video, it's like, oh, he did it.
Son of a bitch.
Simpsons did.
I'll help conduct this. Ryan, you clearly want to say this. So Ryan, what did you want to say?
No, I just want to hear everything Paul has to say.
Paul, what did you want to say?
Thanks for delaying that conversation and wasting time.
What I was saying was
I'm gonna go first. We'll just talk about how I always go first if I don't. So the way I read it was him saying something like, we don't want this to happen.
Okay.
I read it as him meaning like something bad's gonna happen to Spider-Man, and it's like, oh, I don't know if we want to do this because it's gonna completely change the MCU. But it was clearly pushed out of context to be like, I hate my job. I don't want to receive money to stand around and make a movie. It's I
got a lot of other things going on right now.
Yeah,
at the moment.
Exactly.
Even for me, even if it was the latter, that he just didn't want to do it anymore, I'd be like, I'm sure he'd return. I never really believe anyone anymore. Freaking Wolverine's coming back. I've never really believed anyone.
I bet Patrick Stewart comes back as well, because I was thinking about this the other day, and there's no way that they'll want to say goodbye to his version of the character the way that he goes in Multiverse of Madness. You know what I mean?
Or at least that's
That
true.
can't be like the last Professor X thing we ever
That was
seen.
ideal.
Him just getting his neck, his like head torn in half.
that moment is crazy because it does start off like when he goes, like it's this is gonna be the most badass shit we've ever seen. And then, I guess he's dead. Like just right away. It was kind of like that with a lot
like
of
a psychic fight.
Thing.
Let's see here.
Hey, if Spider-Man's coming in July, would that be the reason they pushed everything else?
Shut the fuck up, Ryan Airy. All right, we did it.
Perfect.
There it was. Perfect timing.
Nah, because I think
that into a
Sony
soundboard.
obviously
was
decided
your
that day.
actual question? Sorry. This damn delay. I don't think we're live anymore.
We're not live anymore.
Only we are live.
No, we are.
Says we're live. 20.
No,
Yeah,
we're
we're
just
live.
fucking with you guys. We're still live. It's so late for Paul. He's got kids to tend to, and he's wasting his goddamn time here.
So what was the original question? Will She-Hulk stick the landing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's
yeah.
We'll get to
Let's
this.
go back to that
yeah.
question. 20 minutes later.
But I feel like I like She-Hulk more than most of you guys. I mean, maybe not as much as John, but I feel like have you been liking it, Ryan? I feel like you've been liking it.
I do. No, I have two problems with She-Hulk. One, the fact that VFX artists have been stretched to their limits, and it's uncanny valley when she's on screen. Two, I didn't like episode 7. I love everything else about the show. I like that She-Hulk was able to go, hey, the writers were able to go, hey, we know that people are going to troll this, so we're just going to make those trolls the actual bad guys in the show, and those same people are still trolling it in real life. That they're just like either oblivious, they're not even thankful to be included within the show. I think we're going to see, and then I think the show is probably going to lead right into either Thunderbolts or right into New World Order. I'm intrigued about the Intelligentsia because they're a supervillain team in the comics, and like Claw's file said he was a member of the Intelligence. Like there's a lot of fun MCU related things they can do to like really propel it forward. And I think the videos are going to do well too. The follow-ups.
Paul, if you can put your sexism to the side for just like 1 minute, how can you objectively look at She-Hulk?
I just think it's been such a rush, like 20 minutes. I don't feel like that's enough to develop the characters. And every time I say, like, bring up criticism, they're like, it's Jen's show. And I say something about Daredevil or someone else, like, blah, 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 Abomination. They go, it's Jen's show. It's supposed to be She-Hulk's show. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but it's also like at the same time they're spending like 15 minutes an episode on Immortal Man and Donny Blaze. So they themselves know that it's not Jen's show because that's what they're pushing. And I just feel it's got a really weird structure to it. I don't feel that there's that much character development. The worst episode for Ryan was episode 7. Go to Abomination's Retreat.
Yeah.
Which I thought was the best one.
That was the worst one.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Because that had more what I wanted.
You thought it was the best one because it focused on Jen.
Yeah. And I thought she had an actual arc in it. So obviously she was infatuated with Josh, and then at the end she grew from that and realized that she didn't need to do that. Came out refreshed, went on an actual arc, whereas a lot of the other episodes I feel were very. Even the first episode, I feel like she starts off in the same place and ends in the same place. And it's just like I'm really good at everything. So okay. That to me isn't an interesting character.
Well, I don't think the first episode. Sorry, I don't think the first episode is necessarily I'm still really good at stuff because she's very upfront about her flaws and how the world makes her feel. Like she feels small, and that's the whole thing about She-Hulk is Jen is a person who feels small, and She-Hulk allows her to feel big. So the whole show is about giving yourself permission to feel big. I didn't like a few things about episode 7. 1, I hate what they're doing with the Abomination. 2, I didn't think it was funny. I thought all the gags with like anytime I see like a funny setting in group therapy, I'm always like, okay, so I know what these jokes and beats are going to be. And 3, okay, so Jen gets an arc in the story. Why is it every time a woman got an arc like that, it's always got to be because she's obsessed about a boy?
Yeah, true.
That was the one thing where I was like, come on, like this show up till then had better things. And as far as it being like cameo of the week, that's what the best She-Hulk comics are that, from the Dan Slott and the Charles Soule run and everything. So that's why it's everything I wanted it to be, like I said, apart from the visual effects, which isn't the fault of anybody except this ridiculous schedule.
I think we can all agree that the Daredevil episode was great.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen that getting any hate at all, to be honest, except for he did the walk of shame. I hate him.
She had a great arc in that episode.
Dude, congrats on going viral with that sarcastic tweet.
Oh yeah, we saw you
thank
reported.
Yeah.
Was it really
Unrelatable Daredevil.
Brilliant tweet. Listen, guys, we're about midway through the stream, and this is just an impromptu feeling I'm having right now.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like we should, kind of explain the meaning behind our shirts.
Okay.
And in fact, I might have your emotions and reasoning written down here, but I'll let you guys actually do the explaining here. I love how these are written from first-person point of view.
This is a test. You have to guess what these say verbatim. Otherwise, your stores will be closed and we will automatically win.
This doesn't sound like ScreenCrush Paul's voice.
Nah.
I kind of want to read it. Just like, hey, this is what Paul told me. He
Each
said
of
about
these guys
wrote
Paulie.
All
right.
Hey, it's me, Paulie. Get yourself a shirt. You look dapper in it.
I always imagine you as Andrew Dice Clay when I think of you.
So, John, how'd you come up with the Citizen Kang shirt? Why don't you read what you wrote down because you didn't want to mess this up?
I came up with it, John, myself. I had no input from Greg. It's not mostly all his design. With Kang being, guys, listen, with Kang being the next big baddie of the MC, Ryan, you're going to want to hear this.
Ryan, where the fuck did you go?
Why are you? I see how it is, Ryan.
Leave.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to take this personally, Ryan Airy. All right. Good.
I was in the back. I could hear you. It's all good.
Kang, you better be finding me like an obscure tape or something like that. With Kang being the next big baddie of the MCU, we knew it was just common knowledge between us that we had to come up with a design with him in mind.
Wow.
And hey, I mean, we both love cinema, and Greg,
you're going off script. We have to read it verbatim or else we're gonna get in trouble.
How did fans impact it? What elements do you like most about it? And what other designs from your collection are your favorites? That's how I came up with this shirt. I asked myself all those questions and thought, I have no favorites. I'll have to create one that I can call my own. And it was this. It was this. It wasn't it wasn't the 001 Vecna shirt, and it wasn't us as Steve and Dustin, and it wasn't the rated R logo shirt. That's not my favorite either. It wasn't the nipple chills shirt. It wasn't the tickets shirt that's, I think, over there. It wasn't the shirt that I can't show on screen because we're not allowed to sell it. So it's not this beanie either. I don't love this beanie as much as I love this Kang shirt.
What I remember about creating the Citizen Kang shirt was there was a lot of debate about whether or not we should have
his window,
have the window of the multiverse. That was the biggest debate that we kept having back and forth. And then ultimately came up with a bunch of reasons. And if I'm being totally honest, it looks like a bunch of sperm circling each other by the end of it. When I actually looked it up, I was like, maybe this is what they were thinking, but just didn't want to tell me what it ended up looking like. But I love it.
Oh my God, look who's in the live stream.
Oh yeah.
Douglas. Oh my God. He came for a visit.
This is a perfect transition here.
Man.
He had a Dougie.
Perfect transition. Because Ryan, hey, look, why don't you tell us?
What's up?
I'm going to just throw away the script here. And why don't you tell us
what
it is about what inspired you to come up with the Not the B shirt? Then we got to get back to the chat. And then
actually, I didn't come up with the idea for the shirt. Doug did. So unfortunately, I can't actually. He's really excited right now because it's his lunchtime. So I don't remember much about it. Maybe Doug will tell you. I'll be right back. I'm just going to step over here for a second so Doug can tell you about it. Yeah, I came up with the idea for the Not the B shirt because we're all the time talking about Mephisto and the videos and stuff, and I just we always cut to Not the B's. And that was actually our editor, Harriet Lingo Enright, who came up with that. And we thought, that's just like a ScreenCrush joke that we do. That's a lot of fun, and everybody enjoys it. So we put that in the shirt. And we did it with the text, and everybody sees it. They know what it is, and we're just happy to have a good time, guys.
Oh, how does that look? Cool.
Very insightful.
Wow.
Oh, did he do a good job? I was in the other room. I didn't hear any of that. How did he do?
The way you made Doug's mouth move up and down with your hand up his ass the whole time was really impressive stuff. I don't know how you.
I don't know what you're talking about, guys.
I couldn't even tell your lips were moving while his were. That was really, really great.
He's his own man.
Say, Paul, what birthed the idea?
So I was watching years ago. I was watching Better Call Saul, and I thought Better Call Paul.
Holy shit!
What? I was covering Better Call Saul recently, and
Better
obviously
Call
the poster of it is really good. So I thought, change that up. Better Call Paul. She-Hulk's a law show. Better Call Saul's a law show. Tied in. You need a spoiler. Need a huge movie twist. Better Call Paul. What else does it say?
Just keep pulling your shirt up.
Yeah.
We can't see your belly button.
Dead the whole time on there. That's one of the spoilers.
The busy
Secret twin. Another spoiler. It was a dream. That's the last spoiler.
Oh,
nice.
Spoiled all the movies and shows.
What does it say on the bottom? Like, comment, subscribe.
Guys, that was.
Hey, I'm not even being a wise ass here. That's an awesome shirt. Like, I separate from like, being friends with you and enjoying your channel, I would totally buy that shirt because those are, it's the Homer. It's the Homer. It's the first time I've ever seen it because the first thing I do every morning is refresh your merch page.
Well, I would buy it.
No, I totally would.
My friend, but
or you could send me one, and I could just like wear it every now and then on the channel, and then you'd make money from it. But like, whatever. No, I think it's a really cool shirt, and the Kang one too, because the Kang one's great because you look at it, and if you know it, you know it, and if you don't, you don't.
It's okay, Ryan. Yeah, I could see that you thought we were feeling left out of your compliment game here, but it's okay. You don't have to just try to include us here. Anyway, guys, if you want to check out more of this cool, nerdy stuff, go to shopzeroedition.com. It really is a great way to support the channel as much as we can be sarcastic assholes. It really is. And I am proud of our designs. I really am. On a sincere note, I'm proud of all of our designs. And I remember when you guys first launched your designs, I remember being in the chat being like, holy shit, you guys actually came up with some great, like your Theory Time shirt. Ryan, genius. I mean, not Theory Time. That's Paul. The fucking Star Wars one. What the fuck was the Star Wars one? The original trilogy. That was the one I was like, boom. I saw the Theory Time in the Star Wars font there, and that's why I said that.
So
I like the Theory Time a lot. That's
or whatever.
Theory Time's like one of my favorite things Paul does in his videos. Makes me laugh every time. And the boys official Twitter account shouted that out too. I really like his Theory Time shirt. Man.
Paul's too famous. Hey, we got some more money. Hold on, Ryan. Hold the thought, please. We got more. I love phase. I love phase 4, and I prefer what's been going on. But the delays are useful now. Spreads things out now. Should be more WBN like special presentation. Yeah. I think Werewolf by Night is one of the best things. I've seen it twice now, and it's I think it just hits my personal like taste buds because I love the Universal monster like era and everything that they encompass, and I thought they really captured this beyond just the aesthetic. I thought they really captured thematically what they really do with their monsters. That it's not about like what made them impactful was not the fact that they were necessarily terrifying, but the internal fears within them that sort of become these physical manifestations. And I thought that's what they captured so well by giving such pathos to the monsters within their Man-Thing and the werewolf, of course. But that's just my personal pretentious opinion. Yeah.
I think the special presentations as well, it's probably less pressure for the creatives because they're not having to fit stuff. They have a story they want to tell. No one's going, it needs to be 6 episodes, so drag it out. They're not having to structure it to a TV show where it's got a cliffhanger every week so people come back for the next one. It's not a movie, so there's not like, they've got to please investors and all the pressure that comes with a film release. And I think that's probably the way that Marvel should be going with this stuff. Have the big tentpole movies, and then the more obscure characters, get them a special presentation. Michael Giacchino killed it as well, directed and scored it, which is crazy.
Really did.
He did his best
work.
The
guy, he works so much as well. Like he pretty much scores every film at the moment.
Now he's got time off. Just throwing it out there. If you guys want to get a Reject Nation jacket, I've been wearing this and I never show it. Reject Nation jacket. I've been wearing it off camera so much and I never show the back of it. I thought he absolutely killed it, and apparently he has time off now. And I feel like they're gonna, give him a property and then he's gonna make a film for the MCU. Then it's gonna suck. Then everyone's gonna be like, he's ruining the MCU, and he should never work again in Hollywood. Because that's the way we are with directors.
I mean, he scored the Batman, Thor: Love and Thunder, Spider-Man: No Way Home. That's all within the last year.
And he was doing that in between.
Oh no, he didn't do Multiverse of Madness, did he? Danny Elfman did that.
Yeah, but he was doing that in
between Doctor Strange.
All that shit, man.
Heavy misinformation.
He did Jurassic World Dominion as well. When is this guy going to stop?
Paul, are you reading his IMDb right now?
He's on a break right now.
How does he do all this work?
He is actually on a break. Thank you to all who have bought shirts from shopzeroedition.com, by the way, because I always feel proud when people send in photos of it. Do people send in photos if they actually buy your shirts? Do they show you like, hey, I'm rocking your?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I actually,
it's really cool.
I do feel blissful about it whenever I see that. So thank you guys for the support. Especially when YouTube shuts down monetization for a full day, it really does help out when you guys buy a tee
for literally no reason.
Yeah, that was really stressful looking at the analytics the next day.
Guys,
I can't fucking believe this.
It was a bug, and we have no way to track the ads.
Connor Belmont says, "Did anyone else get nipple chills?" Thank you. Where's that nipple chill shirt? We also got a nipple chill shirt here somewhere.
Gia,
which if that was one of the questions, there you go. If that was one of the questions on this little cheat sheet we have here, the history behind nipple chills is, for some reason, my nipples do just get really inflated for some reason whenever I get excited over something.
That's the way it goes. To use.
But yeah, I definitely I got so excited when I had actually a hard time paying attention when Matt Murdock first showed up because I was so captivated by the fact that he was actually there. I was like, I should actually be trying to absorb what Matt Murdock's trying to say right now. And do you guys agree with any of the sentiments at all that Matt Murdock? I love how we thought we were going to talk about House of the Dragon versus Rings of Power, that we haven't touched one bit about it.
Because that conversation is pretty simple. It's just one has way more character and the other one has a lot of money.
Well, better. But do you guys share any of the sentiment at all about Matt Murdock? Because some people were feeling that they made him a little too funny for it, and I personally
enjoyed it. I thought it fit with the tone of the show. I mean, he was never going to come in and be like, Kingpin murdered my father, I must get revenge. And
in Los Angeles,
I'm defending a woman who's had her house burned down and her pets were killed by mobsters. You know what I mean? It was never going to be that in She-Hulk. So yeah, I thought it was fine for the tone of the show. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Ryan, are you paying attention to the live stream?
I am. In the clip, so the problem was they showed that clip first where he goes, "My ass remains unwhooped," which did seem pretty goofy because it was out of context. The thing you have to, if you read the comics, everybody watches the Netflix show and they've never read a comic and they go, "Oh, that's what Matt." He's not always like that. Obviously, when we talk about Matt Murdock, we usually talk about the Frank Miller stuff, where it was more dark and gritty. But even those comics would have their lighthearted moments because Matt Murdock is a human being who enjoys, things that human beings enjoy. So there's also one of the best recent runs of Daredevil is with Mark Waid, where he lives in LA and he's just happy. Like his identity's public and it's just Matt Murdock actually enjoying his life for once. So and plus it's on She-Hulk, like Paul said. So you couldn't have him come in and, my ex-girlfriend's a heroin addict and she sold my identity to Kingpin. Like that stuff's coming. This was a lighthearted thing. Just like in the She-Hulk comics, the characters show up and they do funny, lighthearted things. And then they go off on their own and Spider-Man's sad because Dr. Octopus stole his body and stuff like that.
You make solid points. And since we're still on the topic of She-Hulk, worst episode. I love this whole stream has just become about
She-Hulk stream finale this week. Tune in.
She-Hulk, support the channel by buying some shirts, and then if whoever sells the most shirts in the next 24 hours gets to keep Doug. Is that what we agreed on? That we'll get to keep Doug, and Doug will belong to an actual loving family and not this
potentially
monetization game that Ryan's playing here with his puppy. It's not actual love. He's
actually got
his own man, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
He was literally walking around in the way.
Around the house. We're clearly in a store. Heavy spoilers.
Worst episode is wedding episode, but the whole show has been the most comic accurate type show, and what it was advertised to be a 24-minute sitcom.
Sure.
I still feel like there's some structural issues for sure.
I don't know if it necessarily does fit the structure of a sitcom completely. I'll tell you why. If you buy shit, no. So sitcoms. What is one of the big things in sitcoms? You've got your cast of characters. You've got your your Joeys, your Chandlers, your Monicas, Rachels. A big appeal about a sitcom is the supporting characters and the side characters and stuff. And She-Hulk is just introducing and adding new ones every week. And also a sitcom, it's a situation comedy. There's meant to be, a location like Central Perk or The Apartment, or Seinfeld, wherever that is, or Frasier with the.
I think
they all have their bases.
Sitcom.
Yeah, Cheers is a bar. You know what I mean?
You're thinking of a live camera audience sitcom.
Yeah, it's a sitcom.
Yeah,
that's the only kind.
I think
I'm finished yet. She-Hulk. They're changing the locations every single episode, and they're adding characters every single episode. So it's not 100% fitting the mold of a sitcom either.
What would you other than if you remove the musical element from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, what would you categorize that as? Because that's more akin to the type of genre that I find She-Hulk to be. Where
I don't even know what that is.
You haven't seen Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? It's the greatest show of all time. It's way better.
It's a great show. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's not a sitcom because it's too long to be a sitcom. Like every episode's 40 minutes, right?
Well, there's like single camera. I get what John's arguing about, like single camera sitcom, but even those use like repetitive locations. It does seem like it changes the even if it's following. Like here's where I could meet Paul like pretty much halfway on it. Even though I've really been enjoying the show, I would also say that even if it is a sitcom, it's not a great sitcom. I wouldn't call it like a solid sitcom though. Like if I was like, watch this sitcom, I'm sure people might be like, this isn't that great of an actual sitcom.
I would say One Division was a better sitcom. I would say One Division was a better sitcom because it was all confined to the house. Funny. Where it had its jokes in, the bit about
when it was living literally in a recreated sitcom. Yeah.
When Vision was stuck chewing the chewing gum, we had a laugh with that. So that was in a situation. It had all the characters were recurring characters. They weren't really introducing new characters every episode, and it was based on sitcoms. You see what I'm saying? I would say that was more of a sitcom.
Than I still you're looking at sitcoms with too narrow of a definition of it. I think because like sitcom is short for situational comedy, but that's because at the time when they came out, the other comedy shows were like Sid Caesar and Your Show of Shows, Milton Berle, that were like variety shows. So the point of a sitcom is we're going to put Lucy and her husband in a house, and it's about this lady. She's at home all the time, and her husband's the TV producer. And obviously, the reason it was stuck to one place is because it's cheaper, and the reason they have the same cast every week is because it's cheaper. But there are sitcoms that have fit the mold of She-Hulk. The one that comes to mind the most is Murphy Brown, which did have an office that Murphy worked in. It also had her home, just like those are the two primary locations in She-Hulk. But it also had like kind of a revolving door of guest stars, either people like politicians or people they were doing news stories about that week, or Murphy every week had a different secretary that wouldn't work out, that would always cause her headaches and problems. And she had a lot of the same problems that Jennifer is going through. And like just being a professional woman, facing sexism, being the best at what she does, and having to work twice as hard, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
so I think it's a sitcom.
I think the main, really quick, I'm gonna wrap up that point there. But look for you, Ryan. For you. Ducks for Doug.
Ducks for Doug.
Doug for Doug.
You know what it was? There was when it clicked for me about what I mean by the sitcom bit is, and on episode 7. Paul's favorite episode, my least favorite episode, Ryan's least favorite episode. When she got to the point where she was, going through the arc in the group therapy moment, I didn't feel like that monologue was necessarily earned, and I didn't really feel much for it. Like I was like, I get why it's here, but the focus of her journey is not really. It feels kind of clunky on the way there. Like it's all technically there on paper, but there's something about the emotional feels for her journey, and I still feel like even for sitcoms, you do latch into that really well. And granted, that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people really felt for that moment. I just didn't. And then everyone.
Yeah, I think another problem with it is that it's trying to be a sitcom, but it's also got to have this overarching story of the MCU. So like the episode 1 is not a sitcom episode at all. That is just an origin story episode.
Yeah.
And then you got teasers of the Intelligentsia, teasers of Daredevil and Todd constantly popping up, like what's going on with him, the Wrecking Crew stabbing her and being like the boss. So you've got this overarching thing as well, which is I feel that someone stepped in at that point during the writing process and was like, it's an MCU thing. We've got to have a big finale and big payoff. Whereas most sitcoms don't really have a big finale. You know what I mean? They just have like people sitting around in a coffee shop.
Look, we got to get this out of the way really fast. All right, Paul. I know Paul's answer. Ryan, Rings of Power or House of the Dragon?
They have the opposite problems. I think House of the Dragon's got to pump the brakes a little bit because the time jumps are way too jarring for me. Whereas the Rings of Power, honestly, I think it's a better looking show, but they're really teasing out certain mysteries that at this point I think are kind of easy to identify. And I hate when shows try to base their whole narrative around a mystery. It's good for business for us to like always tease out the mystery, but then you get something like Hawkeye, which is not what we're talking about, but Hawkeye like just should have revealed the Kingpin was the villain like from the start.
And they had
which one am I enjoying more? Say what, Paul? I'm sorry.
Hawkeye even had a scene where they were going to reveal it in episode 3 that it was Kingpin because they had that scene with and then obviously they saw the success of WandaVision and were like, no, gotta keep people guessing it's Mephisto.
Wait a minute.
When it was pretty obvious who it would be. I like House of the Dragon more than Rings of Power.
do you know I don't know who Sauron is. Do you guys know who Sauron is? Did you figure it out already?
I guess it's Halbrand.
Maybe Halbrand. Who else could it be at this point?
Theory.
I mean, I've heard your Halbrand theory.
Your new, like, maybe he forgot he's Sauron and now he's going to remember.
Yeah.
You're 100% convinced it's Halbrand. You're like 100% sold it's Halbrand.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the structure of the way they left things with Galadriel running off. Galadriel and Halbrand rode off together at the end of the last episode, didn't they? So I think they're going to get somewhere and be like, Sauron's down here. I know it. And then she'll find out that it's Halbrand.
I feel like
they're together in this situation.
I feel like Paul's definitely having a hard time with Rings of Power. His last video made me crack up in those last 10 minutes. So I was like,
I just feel like they could cut so much from it.
So much of your breakdown is you clarifying, like, look, I don't want to slag on the show too much, but
here's why this show should go fucking slow.
Here's why I don't really like this.
Burn all my bridges with Amazon. I just feel the pacing's off completely. I just don't. There's so many scenes. I think you've done this 7 times in the show already. You can cut this scene. It is going on about. It will be about 9 hours once the entire thing finishes. Because though every time I say this, it's like, well, no, it's been 8 hours so far. It's like, no, because most of the episodes are about 1 hour and 10 minutes. So you add all that up, it's longer than the Lord of the Rings trilogy at this point, and nothing's really happened.
Well, my favorite. I
don't disagree.
My favorite negative comment that Paul gets when he doesn't like something in Rings of Power is like, well, I don't know, man. I like slow character-driven stories,
which is fine. But surely you can see why someone has a criticism of that.
Yeah, or that Paul's just racist.
We need character beats to have a character-driven series.
Paul racist comments.
I totally get the character beats that each character has. That's the thing. It's just I don't need to be told 700 times the same thing. I mean, the amount of times that Galadriel was like, Sauron, I'm telling you, Sauron's coming, and a character was like, oh, I don't believe you. Don't really think he is. And then eventually they were like, you know what? Maybe he is coming. We should go on this quest. And then the next episode, it would be Galadriel again telling people Sauron was coming. What? Get that out the way. Just cut that.
I feel like the weakest part of Rings of Power is often the thing that mattered most, which is the writing of the characters. Like that is the main thing they should have nailed. Because I like a few of those characters a lot, but there's also like a lot of characters, and oftentimes there's something about the placement of the scenes that I'm usually like, cool, fun. Yeah. Like I feel like Ryan, you can really like dive into the lore a lot and you really eat that up. And I feel like that can add more points for you than someone like John and I, who are not as lore and heavy knowledgeable about it already. So I feel like that can actually work towards your taste. Same thing for like people who are hardcore Tolkien fans who will come in and be like, yeah, I mean, this is like Tolkien's writings and whatever. And for me, because I don't have as much of that preconceived investment, that doesn't matter to me as much as the emotional investment of the journey. So
I think they also made errors in the way that they structured the villains. Like, if you're a newcomer to this show, which I mean, most people will have seen Lord of the Rings, but things like Morgoth, unless you read the original work, the name Morgoth, you're just gonna be like, I don't know who that is, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and it's like, oh no, it's Sauron. They don't even really explain what happens with Morgoth, and now you're suddenly focusing on Sauron, and then it's the same with the Balrog as well. Durin drops the leaf in, and it lands, and then the Balrog starts to form. If you've got no idea what the Balrog is, you don't understand why that happens. You know what I mean? There's not really. There was never a point in the show where it was like, oh, we need to stop digging because something lurks. I mean, Durin, for some reason, was like, we can't keep digging.
Durin said that.
Why? Yeah, exactly. But he didn't know there was a Balrog down there because he wouldn't have thrown the leaf in there. There's not a reason for it. And to me, the dwarves originally, they were so greedy that they just kept digging and digging. And I feel that Durin should have been like, yeah, go full steam ahead, dig more, get all the mithril you can. And instead he's like, no, we don't like to dig too deep. But why? Just don't do it. And the Balrog
I think
comes out of nowhere. All the villains.
The Balrog reveal didn't work. For the reason you said, I agree completely, because they're supposed to have dug too deep.
Really.
It's a member berry. Totally.
We are just now watching episodes of heavy spoilers and ScreenCrush at this point.
What's so funny to me about that Balrog moment is you guys are like, doesn't work. And John and I are like, we know what it is from
Yeah, it was just a
the thing they dug too deep to.
We know fly, you fools. Like, we know all that. But knowing the books, I'm like, nah, it didn't work.
To me, if I could go back,
actually, the Balrog did not appear until the end of the Second Age, so clearly the timeline here is.
It's a real.
If I could go back to Jeff Bezos, Bizzo in the house, and go, look, mate, that montage at the start of episode 1 that tells about the death of Galadriel's brother, make that the whole first season. Make that the first season. You know, make it a Game of Thrones season 1 where Ned Stark gets executed at the end of episode 9. Have Finrod's death be this big thing that happens, and then, you know, Galadriel's like, oh crap, this big character, he was such a strong influence in my life, got to go out and kill Sauron now. Whereas the motivation for doing it, we don't get to know Finrod that well, so we're not that invested. And we know that Sauron's going to come down the line anyway, so whatever the plan is, it's not going to pan out.
It feels like the action movie trope, and I feel like what works against a lot of Lord of the Rings media post the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy of movies is I feel like people rest too heavily on the stoicism, and it's just like you get all these characters who are like, I'm really stoic and I'm purpose driven, and that's all my dialogue is going to reflect, and any other character is going to have to come from the actor and maybe a directing choice, and that's it, except for Durin and Elrond. And I feel like that dogged the Hobbit movies, and that dogs this pretty heavily too.
Even Celeborn's death, we should have seen that. You know what I mean?
But he's not dead.
He's not dead. He's not dead, obviously.
Yeah.
But we should have seen the scene that she talks about, so we could get invested in, like, oh my god, Galadriel, her brother, she was with him for 5 episodes and he got killed. Celeborn, her husband, she thinks he's dead. Oh my god, I can't believe it. That would have got me more invested, because, you know, House of the Dragon, they're getting you invested in the characters. Like, you know, are going to die. Spoiler alert. But you're seeing that journey. And I know they have big time jumps and stuff, but the important points are hit upon and we see them. Whereas Rings of Fire is like, the important stuff happened in that montage back in episode 1. And now we're just wandering around and telling people, you need to get ready for Sauron. Like, I don't believe you, though. come on, get ready for Sauron. But I don't believe it. We'll get ready for him. And that's like an entire episode.
And I feel like two Hobbit movies already had the Sauron's coming plot line.
Yeah.
And as I do feel like Morgoth, especially as an audience member, when you're like, we know Sauron's coming.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah,
something
I don't know
Rings
why
of
they-
Power.
yeah.
Morgoth was even mentioned.
Rings of Power is way
You know,
better
they
than
take-
Hobbit, though.
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
50.
Maybe 5 armies, yeah.
All right. Let's go. Christina B. What's the next MCU special presentation you'd like to see? Thanks for the super chat there.
Thank you.
The next MCU
Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
special. The logical
I think
next
that is
The one I know
that
is
is the next one. Yeah. I'll take the low-hanging fruit, please.
Or I guess the fun way to put this is, what would be the one we'd like there to be a special?
Captain Carter.
Oh,
would like to
not
see,
bad. Oh.
Or one of the Illuminati
That's fine.
members.
I want an Easter special where Iron Man comes back from the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It resurrects from the cave.
Yep.
And the tomb opens.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
you
Roll the
do,
stone aside.
Tony was Jesus this whole time.
He walks out in a nanotech shroud.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
They could even do a Inhumans one. Fix the Inhumans with it, just a special.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
Black
fun.
Bolt. Get Black Bolt back, baby.
I want my Man Spider special.
And
Make it happen.
end the special with they're going, where you going, Black Bolt? And obviously he can't talk. But he types in his phone in his notes. Just going to meet with my friends at the Illuminati. There's another Doctor Strange just appeared in our universe. And then he stares at the camera. Everyone's like, oh no, don't go, Black Bolt.
Oh,
it's connected.
Yeah.
Anson Mount.
He's so
No,
good.
I love tie-ins.
no, Anson Mount.
so good.
Let's see here. Well, speaking of all these like shows that are creative, I have a sincere thought about the shirts, guys, of why I'm proud of what we do with the shirts.
Okay.
Because we do so much commentary on other people's creativity that it's nice that when we get to put our own creativity on there. For example, how'd you come up with Better Call Paul? But not like if you look at all of our other shirts. If you look at the shirts, there is a lot of. I think it's fun when you do get involved with the actual designs of these things, and it's something that we get to put our names on for, and that is something that has a creative resemblance of something from our minds versus just us, because it takes creativity to put the videos together. Don't get me wrong, but this is something that's a little bit more finite. And I know Ryan has novels too. You should buy his novels. Don't you have novels,
really?
Ryan?
I wrote one. Yeah, it's not published though.
Nah,
Because it's not very good yet. Still in the
leaked.
revision phase.
Read it on the live stream.
And I'm
Your
pissed off
manuscript.
about
Oh,
what
yeah.
you're doing to the backstory.
Audiobook live
so
stream.
maybe-
I think you're ruining the franchise. No, we should buy it.
So
Hey,
maybe,
look,
like-
pretty Nikki. 4 of my favorite internet hotties, you chumps. That's how she sounds too when she says it.
You chump. You chumps.
I appreciate
we
being
love you,
called
pretty
that.
Nikki.
Much
Paul
love.
had zero reaction to that. Did you see that? 4 of my internet hotties, you chumps, and Paul just sat there stone cold.
Like an internet hottie would.
Appreciate that.
Too cool
True
for
internet
school,
hottie.
baby.
is.
I've heard this many
Hey,
times.
that's really nice.
Oh,
That's
Pretty
really
Nikki
nice,
like
Pretty Nikki.
massively
Thank you for
supports my
saying
channel.
that.
No, she massively supports my channel. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
She's only
Joshua.
donating because of me.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. It's gonna go right to our bank.
Thanks, Nikki. Much love.
Joshua Mendez. Wow, that's a big super chat. Thank you. Spent way too much time on this. LOL. Rotten Tomato audience score averages, not including She-Hulk and Werewolf by Night. Oh, this is cool. Oh, I
Okay.
like it a lot.
Yeah.
Phase 1 average 79%. Phase 2 average 84%. Phase 3 83%. Phase 4 88. But isn't there more in Phase 4 than
Yeah.
the other phases?
So technically, the average should be lower though if there's more.
Yeah. 'Cause
Well, at
you'd
the
have
same
more
time, I
ways to
think
Should have
lower
been
it.
skewed.
With Rotten Tomatoes, I
there's
feel like
also-
we go. Sorry, Ryan, you go.
No, it's okay. Greg, I'm sorry. I stepped over you. Go ahead.
No, Ryan, please. I feel like you should be the one to speak right now, Ryan.
The thing that I care the least about, no offense to Josh, is I audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care because we've seen they can be review bombed for different reasons. Back in the day, Rotten Tomatoes was cool because if you like to read movie reviews, from professional film critics who studied film for a living. That's how I learned about film criticism, was by reading them. If you wanted to find film critics, you would go on Rotten Tomatoes and you would look at different reviews, and then you'd go to those websites from those critics, and it was a way to like broaden your horizons. Now, since they were bought, who owns them? Is it WB who owns them now?
Yep.
Yeah.
They've just become such a marketing tool, and that's all they're for. So like every single thing in film has to be, well, is it rotten or fresh? Because 59% of arbitrarily polled critics on the internet don't like it, then it's rotten. We can't watch it, guys. And the audience score makes that even worse. I know it's there, so it's an interactive thing, so fans feel they're involved, but fans show their involvement by buying tickets and watching things. I've never read an audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Now,
I don't think
I might go on other websites for it or social media, but not on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's scores, like average ones in general, are very strange because, like, we as critics actively seek out things that are going to interest us. You know what I mean? Like, there'll be some movies I'm not going to review, so the critic score is going to be skewed anyway, because a lot of people are going to just seek out things that they actually want to see and review that.
Sure.
So that's probably going to be more positive. Audience, they've got a weird thing with Rotten Tomatoes where they'll give a score to a season before it's even finished. They'll be like, House of the Dragon, 90%. It's like, I agree that it's great, but you don't know that yet. Like, they could have a season 8 Game of Thrones thing. So I just don't see the point in scores.
Yeah, it's because they released the press screeners and then they review a couple of episodes. And
studios can control how much you see as well to get that score. And there's been a number of them where they'll give you 2 episodes for one thing, and then the next thing will come along and be like, no, we'll give you 4 episodes. And they can very much control how much of a positive impact that it has on you, because you see where certain arcs go, or you don't. So I just think the whole system's a bit pointless. I'm a bit cynical over it. And there's so many things that I've got bad scores that I've really enjoyed, and so many things that I've got great scores that I've watched and thought, I think more often than not, if something has like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes that's just come out, I'll go watch it and I'll be like, yeah, it was okay. It wasn't amazing.
Well, I think it's easy to forget it's just easy to forget that it's also like the aggregate is of like, if it's a 3 out of 5, that's technically positive, or if it's less than 3, it's technically negative. So the score itself oversimplifies what all the reviews are trying to say.
Yeah.
As they've been oversimplified by their number scores anyway. So yeah.
The audience score has also done this horrible thing where it invests too much of the audience into the work itself and into the film criticism, because for some reason now everything in America has to be political. So Rings of Power shows character posters, and people go, oh, the loudest people go, you can't have a black elf, you can't have a black dwarf. So then everyone who's not horrible feels like we have to stand up and defend Rings of Power simply for that reason against this. When you may, hate Rings of Power and not care at all that there's minority characters in it. So that's another thing the audience score has done. It's just given too loud of a voice to the most horrible people, who are often the only people who actually want to exercise that voice. And it makes everybody else feel like they have to defend something they don't even really care about. Like a lot of people who maybe rose to the defense of Rings of Power never even saw Lord of the Rings, but they're just kind of funneled into that through social media. I personally love Rings of Power. I really don't understand any of the hate around it, but that's a different show.
Well, especially with the marketing lead, I think more than when the actual product comes out, a lot of the time it's the lead up to the release when the rage clicks really come through, especially on YouTube. Like, it's really easy to capitalize on that type of thought process for something like Rings of Power. There are channels that I think all of us can think about right now that come to mind, that those thumbnails, exactly what they're talking about. They're going to talk about virtue signaling and whatever without having seen a single thing or taken in the context of it. But it's really easy to, so then when those videos are getting pushed and that becomes a social media conference, so then, that does become sort of this lens that some people start to view it through.
Yeah. Like, I got into an argument. I mean, I rarely reply to comments because they tend to devolve into, if they're positive, I'll try and reply, but sometimes I'll reply to negative ones. And this guy the other day eventually got to the point where he was like, I have this sneaking suspicion that you guys just hate Rings of Power because you're white people that don't like diversity in the show. And I'm like, I've never, in none of my reviews, have I mentioned anyone's skin color or their race or anything. And it's just getting to the point where it's just an automatic response of you're criticizing this thing, so you must be a racist or you must hate women. And it's like, well, have I mentioned that in any of the things I've said? It's like, no, but that's the reason you're doing it. And it's like, well, I hate
Even
If
though
I
he's
could just-
one of the most enjoyable characters.
I just have an appeal for anybody out there. If you do feel like you have like a thought or something about a show, instead of like channeling that in a hateful way, you should channel that love or hate of something by buying shirts. Like we have this original trilogy t-shirt, which is a really nice way to express how you feel without being mean. The Not the Bee shirt, Citizen Kang, Better Call Paul. All of these are healthy ways to deal with your rage. To buy these shirts on shopzeroedition.com.
It's very true. Paul only wears this when he has to. So, you know, you should only favor, you know, Ryan and Greg and John today, because let's just face it. Does Paul really wear that when he's not required to wear it? No, okay, I'm sorry. I take it back. I'm sorry.
Never mean to doubt your integrity.
All right.
Sorry, I do feel a culture war is kind of dominating a lot of the conversation. And it really, I watched Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship the other day, and Eowyn, you know, when she gets Frodo and she rides and all the Nazgul are chasing after her, and then she gets to the water and she takes them all out. I was thinking, if this was released today, if this was released today, the Mary Sue complaints would be crazy.
Come and claim him.
Arwen and Eowyn both would get
Eowyn in Return of the King.
Well,
I'm no man. Shit, this would have pissed off the world.
But also, Eowyn says that in the book, but Arwen, I don't think, is the person who brings Frodo into Rivendell in the book. So that's where they'd be like, Eowyn, they'd be like, oh, well, that's in the book. That's canon. But anything else.
Woke bullshit then to me.
Yeah, it's woke bullshit.
And now I change my opinion about Fellowship of the Ring.
I honestly don't care about the culture war. I really don't care. And I do kind of get frustrated with the conversation around it sometimes when it's like, this is woke. And I'm like, it's not, like, I don't care.
A lot of people don't even know what it means, though.
Yeah, it just means anything at the moment.
Oh, they're not even using the word woke correctly.
They're not using it correctly.
I'm like, they just see it used on Fox News, and I'm like, you sound stupid when you say that, because that's not even what that means. They're not using it right.
They're
whatever.
Like nearby, it must be woke.
Is that a woke thing? Should I be mad? Should I be mad? I don't even know if it's woke.
Yeah, and some of the arguments are so stupid, like She-Hulk took down Hulk. She stopped his car, and I'm like, I don't care, man. Just please, suspend your disbelief, please. Just suspend your disbelief.
But that also touches on some of the fun things about fandom. Like right there, it's coming from a sexist place. But I've had, like, in my angry youth, I've had screaming arguments with people about how Darth Vader would absolutely decimate Data in a fight, and it wouldn't even be close. And I won this argument, and then my friend said, "Yeah, but Data would beat him at chess." So, you know, like, we love those conversations and those arguments, but
I just don't care about winning those arguments. I would rather just do something else, and that's kind of when I switch off. Yeah.
All right, guys, listen. I wanted to say into the chat right now, are you guys enjoying this stream?
Should we do it again?
I've texted a few people. We got a few super chats to go through. Paul, I know it's like midnight for you. You got kids crying and screaming in the background. Your wife's yelling at you to come upstairs. And I know that this is the best distraction for you, but you should probably be responsible at some point tonight. So we'll get you back there in a bit. But we got some comments to go through. I texted some people. They think we're doing a good job. If you guys think we're doing a good job in this stream, one thing you can do, leave a like. Second thing, support us at shopzeroedition.com. Buy anyone's shirt. I don't even care if you buy ours, even though, I mean, it's preferable.
It's the best way to support the channel, and you get something back.
Yeah. And
get to express your love for the channel.
I don't know about you guys. There's been plenty of times with the Vecna shirt that we have and this shirt where I've had people come up to me and be like, "That's a cool shirt," and I'm just like, "Thanks." And I don't even like try to promote it or be like, "Well, you can get it."
You gotta have the QR code.
I have no idea how
just
to
wear a lanyard with the QR code on it so everybody can see it.
How you can
Oh,
actually
you like it? Here, just scan that with your phone. And then you can
Why
buy
do we
it.
get that? I mean,
Dude,
an
just
awesome idea.
Print QR codes on the sleeves of each
Yeah.
one, so if anyone asks, you can just go scan this.
Yeah, I've never. I have no idea how to just be like, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and buy it?" But we do get compliments on a lot. It means a lot.
That's a good way to start. Just go, hey, buy the shirt.
All right. All
What
right.
can
We'll
you-
do this. We'll have to go through these a little bit quickly, but thank you to all who have been here in this chat so far. And thank you to all who have supported us at shopzeroedition.com. Because we got more coming up. Every month we got, and this next one, John came up with our shirt.
Oh, no.
John came up with it.
Oh, no.
I
Is
turned
that
it
gonna be
down,
this
but
month?
then
I thought we were going with a different
I didn't
design
agree
for
with it, but the higher ups at Zero Edition, there's deals going on in Puerto Rico right now with tax purposes, and they thought John's worked better over there. Galley Ghost, hey guys, had nipple chills when Deadpool 3 was announced for my birthday in 2024. Awesome, happy early birthday. My nipples now feel like Uncle Ben in the I love how the nipple chills thing took off. My nipples now feel like Uncle Ben in the MCU. Dead and gone. Cheers.
Aww.
I think delays can be good because it always gives them more time to prep. That's something that I've heard a lot about with in the pandemic discussions with some of the greatest things, like even for Better Call Saul. Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould were saying that one of the best things that happened to them was the fact that the pandemic occurred, so it allowed them more time to write the final season. And if they didn't have the pandemic, they probably wouldn't have been able to deliver such a great season. So COVID was a great thing all around.
Yeah, great.
Like the writer strike for Breaking Bad season 2.
Oh.
They were going to kill Jesse off. The writer strike happened, and they had more time to plan out season 3 or season 2.
What?
I thought it was going to die in season 1.
Yeah.
I thought season 1 was when they were going to kill him off.
I misspoke. The writer strike gave them time to plan out season 2, which is why season 2 had the airplane and everything was really the ABQ down thing that they did.
Is that Andres Galagost? Comment in the chat.
Jamie Ailano, Michael Giacchino, or as I call him, Michael Gynecologist, should get Blade, in my opinion. I guess I'd be down for that. I don't know. I feel like you kind of put him in a box at that point, and I feel like you don't really want to box Michael Giacchino in because you some of these bigger movies, as much as it seems like there has to be kind of a middle ground here where a director can do what they really want to do, but also need a little bit of guidance in order. Because sometimes you can give too much rein, and some of these movies, I don't know. It seems like such an up and down experience of the MCU as of late, but I personally would want Michael Giacchino kind of stay more in the terrain of I want to do this because I want to do it versus you did a good job in Werewolf by Night. Now you want to do this modern vampire action thriller. I don't. He could do a good job, but it's not the one I personally would want. If anything, I want to see him focus on a Werewolf by Night 2 more than I would want him to see do play. But do you guys have any picks for? I think like one of the John Wick directors would be a good Blade pick for one of these films.
Let's get Steve
solid.
McQueen to direct it.
Steve McQueen.
Yeah, it's going to be just a story about like intense blood addiction.
I mean,
a harsh drama.
I don't want him to write it, but I'd love to see Robert Rodriguez direct it. We've seen him do vampire action before. If you're going to just put a wish list out of the ether, then Quentin Tarantino is obviously the best person to direct any Marvel ever.
That'd be cool.
Especially one like Blade. But, I guess I just have From Dusk Till Dawn in my head.
Do you have a pick, Paul?
No.
I want Spike Lee's Blade.
Way to participate in the live stream today, Paul. I really appreciate it.
I was going to say Jordan Peele, but he wouldn't do it. He's kind of above it.
Oh, well, obviously Jordan Peele is... You never know, though. I mean, Sam Raimi...
Jordan Peele is one of the directors at the moment where he sells original ideas on his name. You know what I mean? It's like Christopher Nolan.
Right.
So they could, if they were hypothetically to hand him the reins, he could probably make the project he wants to make.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
If it was a Marvel presentation, do a special presentation, then I don't know about a full feature film.
But I feel like a Jordan Peele would have more pull over that whole project than the guy who just left the project.
Hey, if anything, I would just want to see Jordan Peele do a vampire movie. That would be more than Blade. I would just like do a vampire movie.
Let Wesley Snipes direct it.
That'd be cool.
Vampire Hunter, baby.
it's got about phase 4 hits hard for me because I have way more relatable characters. Thank you for this multiple super chats here. I have way more relatable characters than this phase, and the relatable theme of grief, depression, and trauma got me. I thought that worked strongest in. I mean, I thought Moon Knight had a really great episode arc with that, but I feel like WandaVision just really knocked it out of the park in that department. That's
No Way Home had good moments too. Obviously,
definitely.
the death of Aunt May, that was quite a big thing. I do kind of wish they'd focused on the 5 years in between the snap and the blip, because I feel like
we've got a video coming out about that right now. Yeah,
there's some. Well, mine's about to drop in 10 minutes. But there's so much stuff that's unexplored in that, that we don't hear about. It just, I mean, Hawkeye kind of touched upon it. WandaVision did, with Hayworth saying they were dark times, and that's really all we've had. And I would love to see something exploring that. Get a special presentation of like Agents of Sword during that time or something.
I want to see like I want to see a character who was around during that 5 years and is truly affected and has like sometimes irrational emotional responses to things.
Yeah,
because
like
they are traumatized by what happened.
Yeah,
I think like they talk like have lines about trauma about that 5 year gap, but they don't ever really. What the hell are you doing, Ryan? You're just like cleaning out the fridge right now. What's going on back there?
You are at work.
You're like you are opening door.
You are stocking things, checking inventory, scanning tapes.
I think I would like to. I don't know. I'm always down for like the dark character exploration stuff, and I feel like audiences have been down for that too. I think that's why WandaVision really hit. And what was the? I mean, I feel I know no one's really talking about this show, but I think Andor does it pretty well. Like Andor is a pretty great show in my opinion.
Yeah,
and I
Multiverse of Madness, not really a theme of grief, but Doctor Strange feeling like he lost out on Christine.
Yeah,
in those 5 years, I love the bit at the end where he's like, "I love you in every universe."
If you're going to say phase 4,
I love you. Every
Robert
if you're going to say phase 4 has a unifying theme, it's consequences. It's the consequences of the snap, and it's the consequences of everything that happened in Endgame. I'm not going to go through the list, but just about every single project that's not like a new standalone character like Moon Knight or Shang-Chi, it's about the consequences of what happened. So for all you people who say it seems like phase 4 has no plan, definitely has a plan. Half the projects are about the multiverse, and they're all about consequences, grief, and trauma. Fun.
The plan was very obvious since Loki. Is that somehow this is all going to connect via the multiverse? That's like it's always been a very obvious.
Well, even WandaVision, when Evan Peters showed up, people were like, "Oh, multiverse here, baby." Fox universe crossover.
Or when they revealed, the power broker and Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're all still talking about that. Remember how that changed the MCU forever, and people are still making theories and breakdowns about it all the time, and how that opened up the door for Phase 4. We talk about it in our private time all the time, guys. About like, wow, I can't believe the power broker, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Remember that twist? Everyone talks about it.
Sharon.
But was it really her though? That's the thing. Like, I don't know if she could be working for the power broker. We just know that she's not a good guy.
I'm not going to lie. I forgot most of what any of the power brokers about. So I need to
people sleep on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, man. Go back and rewatch that show.
I like the show
really
a lot.
good.
I forgot all about that.
It was just
right now.
It was sandwiched between like those first 4. Actually, the first year of Marvel TV shows were so good, and like the production value was so strong that it kind of overshadowed everything else. The battery might be about to die in my camera, so if I go away for a second, it's just because I'm fixing the battery.
You got to get a dummy battery, man. That's what we have.
No, I do like Falcon.
I don't know what that is.
Even the side character stuff with John Walker, I thought was really good.
Yeah. That's the stuff I really remember. Power broker things. I'm like, that was such a big ending, and I feel like there's been no hype about that at all. This is the best part of the stream right here. Oh, thank God.
Could you fix your battery too, Paul?
He's finally gone.
We'll get our battery going, and
Neva R. Williams. The delays could be a good thing. We should probably because we do have to end the stream soon, so we should probably stop. allowing super chats to come in. Stop your generosity. And if you really want to
giving me money,
keep super chatting, you can put that money towards getting yourselves a shopzeroedition.com t-shirt today.
God damn it.
But yeah, we only got a few more streams here, but thank you. I like when you if you turn off the super chats, YouTube goes, do you understand the implications of your actions by doing this? It is
Yeah, YouTube's no longer making money.
Like, am I never gonna
know what you're doing to us? Because the YouTube gets like 50% of it. The delays could be a good thing, but did they space out releases for delays or for a new Spider-Man? Because they did this before for Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, things are always changing. There's a lot more behind the scenes plans than we realize. Ryan has switched angles or cameras.
God damn.
Oh my god!
I'm
Wow!
back.
Wow!
I'm
How
back,
are you doing?
baby.
Oh my
Back,
god!
baby.
You should switch angles.
input
for
change?
throughout.
Damn. Yeah, you should have a multi-camera setup for your one box in the corner.
I love Paul. You got to act like you're not tired and that you still want to be.
I'm so tired.
You got to just try to make it look like you're having a great
Invested
time
and excited.
because
You know what these delays have done? They've just reminded me. I remember when stuff got delayed during the pandemic and how much I was panicking and all the anxiety I was feeling, thinking I've got nothing to cover for the next 6 months. And it's nice that we've reached a point now where it's like, yeah, let them delay it. Let them take all the time they need.
Well, there was a time where like all we were really doing was Marvel stuff, and now there's more variety.
Spider-Man No Way Home trailer update.
Yeah, No Way Home trailer update. No leaks. Are they in it? Are they in it? Are they in
Are
it?
they in it? Are they in it? Are they in it? Are they in it? Are they in it? Here's more evidence to support that maybe they're in it.
And now with Superman and Black Adam, it's like The Rock's just coming out. He's like, yeah, that's what it is.
You were right. I lobbied for this.
I'm pretty much saying he's in it without telling you he's in it, but I'm making it pretty clear he's in it. And
On this planet. That's what he's like.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Black Adam is very powerful, but if he was to go to Krypton, another planet, the home of someone else, a man who's very super on that planet, they might have some talking to do.
But I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. Yeah, he pretty much. I don't know. I feel like that's one of the weird things about it, about the Superman thing, is how it seems like The Rock wanted that to leak. And
Yeah, I mean, it's market, yeah.
And now,
if it's going to get people in to go see the movie, because I don't know what the buzz about it. You know, I don't know if there's that much interest. There is obviously some interest, but I don't think it's like Marvel movie hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then yeah, if it gets more people interested in seeing it, I think The Rock's doing the right thing.
Well, it's a gift and a curse being Black Adam. It's a gift and a curse. Some of those lines are just so comic.
On this planet, it's definitely a gift, but on another planet, it might be a curse against Superman. What did you say?
So that's it.
Which Marvel superhero should get a movie who hasn't gotten one yet, in your opinion?
That's a good question.
Ryan, I know you got like 15 answers ready to go.
Far too many. Paul's only saying that because she's English. What Marvel superhero? It's kind of hard to think of a Marvel superhero that hasn't gotten a movie at this point. When you run through the list,
Squirrel Girl.
I thought you knew comics, Ryan.
I do.
Exposed.
I do.
Just pull one out of your ass right now. Just say one of the many X-Men. Just say Gambit.
Magneto.
No, actually, any of them but Gambit. Gambit's the most overrated X-Men. Like the best X-Man, Cyclops, and I'm so tired of the movies ignoring this and like treating him like he's some chump. Cyclops, best X-Man, mic drop. I know that's not the question, but yeah, Cyclops. I want a Cyclops movie.
You son of a bitch.
Let's get Ty Sheridan back.
Who do you want? Who do you want, Paul?
Magneto. I was really. I love Magneto. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite characters of all time, Magneto. And you know what, they actually do him right in the movies a lot of the time. He's very conflicted. Obviously he lived through the Holocaust. He's seen people get wiped out. He's very paranoid that that's going to happen again. Yeah, I love I think there's so much stuff they could do with it, social commentary without it feeling woke, without it feeling forced. Yeah, I'd love to see Magneto thing, because he's basically someone who goes through the worst things imaginable and sort of becomes a villain because of it. But he's also a hero to many people. You know, he's a freedom fighter. There's thousands of mutants that feel persecuted, and they look to Magneto to be their voice. So yeah, I think they could do something really fascinating with him, but they won't.
My actual answer is Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is by far my favorite comic book villain, one of my favorite comic book characters. He's one of the few villains, kind of like Magneto, who could support a movie. And if you see where he kind of like, he starts off, you know, there's some great comics like limited series about Doom's childhood and stuff. If you start off kind of like Anakin Skywalker and you show this like little kid with the purest of intentions who was persecuted as a child and had raw talent and really thought that raw talent would help him and his people get out of where they were, and just the system and greed and everything pushes him down, and he makes this promise that's never going to happen again, because I am going to be better than everything and I am going to fix it. I am going to fix the world. And, you know, not to keep the Darth Vader comparisons going too much, but he obviously ends up in an iron suit, except unlike Vader, he chooses that life for himself because he wants to detach himself from humanity, because he, whether he knows or not, he won't let himself ever get attached to anybody again after he loses his mom. It's a great origin story, great character, and he would be such a better villain in Fantastic Four Part 2 if we got a setup movie of just Dr. Doom.
I don't think Ryan's battery died. I'm pretty sure he set up a teleprompter.
Yes.
So he could.
And he went to find that Doom action figure off camera.
No, actually, the Doom action figure just fell off the wall earlier. This is a really good one. His mask comes off. He's supposed to have a pistol, but it fell out. It's in the closet, I think, and he sits on his little castle. I really like
great answers. We know Doom's coming. I'd like a Magneto movie. I think Magneto should be played by Lashana Lynch, just to make everyone happy.
Yes.
Do it. Amanda Doherty. I love all you guys. Have a great day. Well, we love you.
Love you back.
That's nice. Thank you.
It's a lovely profile pic.
Again,
very friendly
Paul,
smile.
Emotionless. Does not know how to receive a compliment.
I just feel like I'm being really rehearsed. You know what I mean? You go off into the usual spiel of, oh, thanks so much. I appreciate that so much. And I feel very fake doing it, but I really appreciate it. I just feel like I'm almost being like, I've done it so many times that it almost feels rehearsed. So don't give any of us any money.
Let's just be silent and take that in.
No, I do. I do really appreciate it.
Take in the darkness from
heavy.
I don't want to
old friend.
I don't want to say thank you because it just sounds rehearsed.
No, I do want to say thank you, but
gratitude.
My face isn't gonna.
Brani Dutta, what will be your rating for Disney Plus MCU content? Mine is Loki, Werewolf, Miss Marvel, WandaVision, Falcon, Moon Knight, Hawkeye, She-Hulk. All right, I'm going to go spitball this really fast. Everyone spitball answer. I'm going to say WandaVision, Werewolf by Night, Loki, Moon Knight, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Hawkeye. No. Flip She-Hulk and Hawkeye. No, She-Hulk. That's a Daredevil episode. Yeah.
Someone's
just said Paul is Doom, which I appreciate.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, I got you. I had to write mine down. WandaVision, Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier, Werewolf, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, What If, which isn't on this list, She-Hulk, and Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, mine would be, just looking at this guy's list, rearranging it. Loki, number 1. Yeah, number 2 would be, Werewolf by Night. Number 3 would be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh, no, sorry. 1 Loki, 2 WandaVision, 3 Werewolf, 4 Falcon and the Winter Soldier, 5 Moon Knight, 6 Ms. Marvel, 7 What If, then Hawkeye and She-Hulk last.
Yeah.
8 women.
John,
not bad.
Spitball it.
Loki, WandaVision, Werewolf, Falcon, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Hawkeye.
No What If?
What If
Ryan's really championing for this What If.
She-Hulk, What If, Hawkeye.
Those last 2 episodes of What If are really, really good.
The Doctor Strange episode is one of the best Marvel animated things that ever existed.
And the Captain Carter one, don't forget Captain Carter. I get paid by Marvel every time I say Captain Carter.
I want them to go broader with What If.
Thank you. Thank you from Ryan, John, and I, not Paul. Anthony Solis, truly enjoying the stream. Wanted to take this moment to say a big thank you to the 4 of you and all your hard work. Well, no one's working as hard as John these days.
No, it's these 3.
These guys,
It's
we're all
these
lazy
3.
fucks. It's
Nothing.
Humphrey over here.
I am just an attaché.
Heavy Spoilers was mainly inspired by John before starting up his channel. And he messaged that in private.
Angela Lansbury's dead.
What?
Oh,
Rest
Really?
in peace.
Rest in peace.
Damn, really?
Look at that. Yeah.
Really?
You'll
Can you type that in, John?
You'll go Lansbury for this cransberry because it's dinner she wrote.
So weird having a super chat.
Ooh.
What's that going?
Too soon.
She
Wow.
really passed away. When did she pass away? This morning?
Wow.
I think just now.
1 hour.
Lived to be
96.
96. Wow, that's a long time.
that's a good inning.
Good run right there.
I'm gonna have to go soon, guys.
Yeah, we're wrapping up in a second.
I hate
Yeah,
that.
I gotta go watch Murder She Wrote. I'm feeling nostalgic now.
Yeah. Breakdown.
Okay.
Breakdowns.
We're almost at the tail. We're at the tail end, I promise. There's only a couple more left. Quentin Anthony Anderson. How do you all feel about the MCU delays announced today? Oh,
We're for them.
we're for them. We covered them. They were great.
Take your time. Do
Yeah.
it right.
Take your time. Get those VFX correct.
Give your artists a human amount of time.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a massive super chat today. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Oh, that's
So-
nice.
Thank you to everyone
Yeah.
donating as well.
Thank you to
Appreciate
everyone.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you haven't
kind of you
donated,
guys.
A-okay. Just appreciate
Especially
you
with
being-
the way the world is right now. Any money, we appreciate it.
Reynaldo McWhiskey.
Paul's just trying to bounce back from his. Okay, just sending support. Smash that like. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, and all. That's incredibly generous. Thank you.
Absolute fun.
Thank you, man.
And I haven't found my Daredevil beanie. I'm convinced one of the guys here on the stream took it. Ronaldo, thank you. And then, hey guys, just want to say thank you for from Zenix, all the amazing content recently, and the Zero Edition Vecna shirt feels so nice when I get nipple chills.
Yeah.
It doesn't scathe, doesn't burn.
It doesn't chafe your
Because
sensitive
That's
areas.
I made sure it was going to be nipple resilient on that.
No doubt.
Nipple
Thank you,
thrills.
Zenix.
Nipple thrills.
Hell Swimmy for the holiday special. Thank you for the super chat. For the Guardians, you think Groot will be Marvel's Satan will be Marvel's Santa?
Zatanna.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be
Oh, you
fun.
think it'll be an actual Santa?
I
In
think
the
Ego
holiday
will
special?
come back and be Santa.
Oh, we should get Kurt Russell.
Get Kurt Russell to do Santa
That
again.
would actually be great.
Yeah. Guardians of the Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we always feel weird ending a stream without acknowledging the super chats, but I'm pretty sure that was everyone here.
I think so.
And thank you guys so much for that was it.
That's it.
Thank you guys so much for everything here, and I want to thank. This was a bit of a workaround to schedule this, and I'm glad we got to do it, guys. So, Paul, thank you for joining us so late at night. Heavy spoilers. Channel's slowly been dying day by day, but I feel like he's on the up and coming. If he just persists, he can break through that mold, and then eventually we might.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Much appreciated. I'm just reading the comments and people saying bye, Paul. Bye, guys.
Bye. And Ryan, thank you for being you. I really think you should rewrite that whole novel. I don't feel like it's. I think you need to rework the foundation a little bit and perhaps change the characters up. I'm just saying. But yeah, guys, show your support. Go check out their shirt, shopzeroedition.com. You got the how do we remove this? Just flash it on screen really quick. I just need to remove this. Paul, bear with me. Don't worry. I'm just trying to. How do you
Go find it?
Did you say hide current comment?
Hide current.
There we go.
There you
Boom.
go. Perfect.
So Paul, why don't you flash your shirt on screen one more time? Better call Paul.
baby.
Woo! And then we got ourselves a Ryan Airy with his Not the Bees shirt.
Yes.
That's
Not the
right.
business.
And Reject Citizens, you can get yourself a Citizen King shirt. This was fun. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah. Let's do it
Yep.
again.
Okay, you're
Tomorrow.
gonna regret those words there, Paul.
Gonna do it.
Like
Yes,
Even later
let's-
next time.
Let's do it again.
Whoever sells the most hosts the next one.
All right, guys. We'll see you all soon. Peace out, Reject Nation. Thank you so much for your support. And check us out, shopzeroedition.com. Much love to everyone.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
They're done. Are we
That was fun.
leaving?
Hmm?
No one said
Oh, are we-
goodbye.
We're still
I
live.
thought that we were going to do like a hey, thanks for stopping by.
Oh wow, it's still us, Paul. It's just us. Real Rejects isn't
It's
on their
just-
channel
let's
anymore. It
stream
says
again.
live, and it's just us. Is this? Wait, did this happen? Are we in control of their channel now? We
I
are.
don't
I'm
know.
on YouTube. This is
Videos.
just us, Paul. We're in control of the channel till we hit the off button. This is incredible.
What are you doing?
What the
Lyle?
fuck? What the fuck?
What are you doing? Get out of here!
No.
I was about to start dropping copyright songs everywhere.
Oh, you
Yeah, everything demonetized. Alexa, play
no one
everything.
buy a heavy spoiler
All right,
shirt.
we're leaving for real now. John, exit us out, 'cause I don't know what I'm doing.
We're gonna actually end the broadcast. Love you all. Good
See you
day.
guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.